Hey guys, welcome back to Overbooked. My name is Amanda, and today I'm going to be trying to do something a little different. So, I recently finished a book from scratch by Tembi Locke, and this was, I think, the May Reese Witherspoon pick, and I finally got it from the library. So I read it, I really enjoyed it, but there's a whole slew of recipes in the back of the book, just chillin'. So in the back of the book, she has recipes. Since she married a chef, a lot of cooking is involved in this book, and it's a way that she heals and grows, falls in love, deals with grief. She has recipes laid out for all the sections of the book: first summer, second summer, third summer. So I thought it'd be fun to do one of these. I'm going to be attempting the pasta con zucchini, Sicilian summer pasta. It looked like the easiest recipe besides a salad. So I'm going to go get the ingredients for this pasta today and probably cook this for lunch tomorrow. And while I'm cooking, will be giving you all my thoughts and feelings about this book, reviewing it while making this pasta. Heads up, I'm a terrible cook. I never cook, I never bake, but we're gonna do this. Originally I was just gonna do the arugula salad, but I thought, why not? Like, challenge myself. Let's do this, right? Come on. So, this should be fun. All right, we're headed to the grocery store to get the ingredients. Chandler, how good of a cook do you think I am?
Let's do the 0 to 10 scale. 10 is like Gordon Ramsay.
Okay.
0 is like a baby.
Okay.
Someone who's never cooked before.
Yes. Never been in a kitchen.
Give you a solid 4.
What?
You think that's high or low?
I think that's a little low.
No, it's fine.
I think if this pasta is really good, I think I should be elevated. My score should be risen up. Rose up.
Rise up.
Rise up. Okay, got all the ingredients, and now we're headed home. Tomorrow I will start this bad boy up. Okay, it's the next day. Got the ingredients for this recipe yesterday. We're gonna begin. We're gonna start with the onion. I'm terrible at chopping onions, so. Also, I have like this looks dangerous. I have a cousin who's like pretty cool, and he's like a chef on the side. I think that's actually what his Instagram is called, is Chef on the Side. And one time I posted about trying to eat more vegetables, and I was like mid-cut, and he was like, those knives are terrible. So for all of you guys out there that cook constantly, I'm sorry, I don't have the proper tools, and I'm probably not using the proper form, but here we go. Ooh, starting to tear up. Ooh, I don't know if that's over this onion or the book. Ooh, okay. I super cried a ton during this book. I'll give you guys an overview of what it's called. So the book is called From Scratch by Tembi Locke, and she is an American actress who I've never heard of. So I had to do some Googling. Still don't really know if I would recognize her, so whatever. Holy you guys. Woo! Do you guys have any tips for cutting onions without tearing out? That would be really helpful. Anyway, so it's about, the author is Tembi Locke. So it's her memoir and it's pretty much just talking about her relationship with her husband, who she met in Italy, and they fell in love, and they got married, but unfortunately he got cancer and later passed away. This is not a spoiler. It's on the cover jacket. It's literally like the first chapter of the book. She talks about it, so not giving anything away there. I do think it was like incredibly sad because you're literally hit with the feels as soon as you start reading this book, because she instantly just starts talking about, you know, her husband's name was Sorrow, and like on his he's pretty much just on his deathbed, and she has to watch her husband, the love of her life, just essentially waste away. And it was really, really tough to read, and I cried a lot. And I was like, what would I do in that scenario? What loss and grief does to a person is extraordinary and sad and difficult. Onion is done. Oh. So now I guess I'm gonna peel some tomatoes. The book starts off pretty sad. I'm just gonna peel this like a potato. It starts off sad, but you also get to hear, she goes back and forth between, you know, present day, then the past, where how she ends up in Italy and meeting Sorrow. I apologize if I say his name differently every single time. And I think like their love story is incredibly beautiful, and I think Tembi is an amazing, ambitious woman. She is a art history major and aspiring actress, and she decides that she wants to study abroad in Italy, and she says that she's nervous and she's kind of scared or whatever, but literally though, she just jumps right in, and she learns Italian pretty quickly. She immerses herself in the culture. She goes on some shopping sprees. Girl, I know, I see you. Then she picks up some bays on the way, just kind of doing her thing, whatever. She knows these guys aren't permanent, but she's like, whatever, I'm in Italy, I'm living my life. And then one day she meets Sorrow, and they just have this instant spark, and he keeps persisting that they should, try it out. One day he gets her a effing bike, and you guys, I don't say that in a mean way at all. I think that is the sweetest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. He gets her this red bike so she can bike around, because that's her mode of transportation, and it's just super cute. And she's like, why are you doing this? And he's like, because I believe that we could be something great. If somebody said that to you after they just gave you this super freaking cute bike, and they were just like, I think we're gonna be something great, I would literally sleep with them as soon as they said those words. I'd be like, I'm done. We're together. Let's do this. Tembi's a little bit more self-controlled. She takes her time. They kind of hang out for a bit. Not even. I don't know if you guys watch Greer, but gotta make sure you have this. Anthony, I see you. Okay, we got the tomatoes done. Now we're gonna do zucchini. We don't have to peel these zucchinis, thank God. Yeah, so he gives her that bike. She finally accepts an invitation to his restaurant, because he's a chef at this really cute little upscale restaurant that I probably wouldn't be able to afford to go to. He's like, yeah, bring some friends, whatever. She wasn't even gonna sit down and have dinner with him, which I was kind of weirded out. And then she's like, yeah, Sorrow was talking to me through the food, and he kept bringing me all this food, and I was like, whoa, it's kind of weird. I would just be like, where the fuck are you? Can you just come out here? Eventually, he's like, sorry, I couldn't, stop by. I was so busy in the kitchen. But, how about you ask her to dinner on a day you have off? But I guess he, really wanted to cook her food. Which is the whole reason, food is a central theme of this book, why I'm cooking this. Food is, how, Sorrow and Tembi's relationship kind of starts. And, after that, it's kind of just, the start of the beginning. So, essentially, after that dinner, Tembi and Sorrow are, a thing. They hang out, they make plans, they're pretty serious from the get-go, which I think is pretty impressive considering she's not even from there. But he's pretty much just I can cook anywhere, it's fine if I need to move to the United States. I love you. So, eventually they do move to the United States. It's kind of a rough thing. So it's fast forward 3 or whatever years, they're in the United States, they're living there, and before they leave, she's like, you have to tell your parents that you're coming, blah, blah, blah. And his parents are from Sicily, this little town in Sicily, and apparently they don't want their son to date anybody that's not Sicilian and not from their town, which I think after a while would get pretty hard, especially if it's a small town. You can't marry your cousin, so what are you gonna do? They don't approve of their relationship. They don't approve of him coming to America, and they especially don't approve of him being with a African American. So it's like really tough for Tembi. And they're pretty much just like, hey, I'm moving, please, see me. And then they're just like super disappointed. So he has like a really rocky relationship with his parents, and they don't really talk forever. You're moving away across the ocean, and then your parents are just like super bummed out and pissed at you. Sucks. So fast forward, they get eloped essentially. They just go to the courthouse, blah blah blah. But they eventually want a real wedding, and they do it in Italy. Soro invites his parents, and they're like, you're not our son. Like, a couple of his family members come, but otherwise, like, it's all of Tembi's family. As much as, like, illness plays a role here, and, like, the suffering of a spouse in dealing with grief, I think that another main thing about this book was, like, how she had to deal with her in-laws, essentially, like, just not approving of her, hating her, and not even meeting. Like, she's met them, I don't even know if they even met before the wedding. Just really hard to read, difficult for me to like process, which it shouldn't be, because I mean there's people in the United States that would probably feel the same exact way if their son or daughter married a person of color. Like, there are still people in 2019 that feel that way, and it's shameful and awful, but that's the world we live in, and I think it's terrible that people have to go through that. And even if you're not a person of color, I think it is just like hugely disappointing that the person that you love, person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, the person that's your person, like, their parents or their family doesn't approve of you, or doesn't like you, or doesn't even give you a chance. And it's disappointing and hard and a sucky thing to deal with. They figure out a way to like reconcile, and I won't get too much into it because I've already like kind of talked way too much about the book, and I don't really want to do that because I want you to read it and enjoy it for yourself. But after dealing with the loss of Soro, Tembi has to figure out how to have a relationship with her in-laws, and essentially it's now just her mother-in-law. Her father-in-law died 3 years before her husband did. How to figure out how to have this relationship with her mother-in-law. It's so odd because she says this in the book too. It's like, it's so weird because it was like the end of Soro's life was the beginning of mine and Nana's relationship, which is kind of bizarre. Like, I would think that if Chandler's mother-in-law, or his mother-in-law, that would be my mom, if Chandler's mom, like, and I didn't have a good relationship, which we do, which I'm very grateful for, but if we hated each other and all of a sudden Chandler died, well, not all of a sudden, he had cancer, blah, 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 I think once he died, it would finally be like, okay, we don't have to deal with each other anymore. Like, this is all, we don't have to do this. I think what really, though, keeps her wanting to have that relationship with her mother-in-law is her daughter. Her and Soro ended up adopting a girl, and, she wants her daughter to be close to her father's family and know that kind of relationship. And I think that when they go back to Sicily, in that little town, which I cannot remember the name of, it's when her daughter can finally, like, feel like she's close to her dad, So I think that's a big reason why. I think if there wasn't a kid involved, I don't know if there would be a lot of effort made to maintain that relationship. Okay, so I'm done doing the zucchini, and now I'm going to get all these vegetables in the saucepan. Well, we're going to saute the onions first. Get some olive oil in the saucepan. I got the cutest bottle of olive oil I could find that was the cheapest. Okay, so I have to saute these for about 2 to 3 minutes. Yes, so I think the main reason why Tembi continues to go back to Italy or Sicily and visit her mother-in-law and try to maintain that relationship is for her daughter. But I also think, I was thinking about this while I was finishing chopping up the zucchini, it's like, I think a lot of the reason why it was nice for her to continue to go back is it was a nice way to still be connected to Soro and remember him. He has ashes scattered there. He wanted to be buried there. And, I think that that's true for a lot of people. I think that you know, after you're not in a place where you have so many memories with a person, I think it's hard to really truly remember everything. And she said that she had the most vivid memories when she was in Sicily, you know, and for those summers. And I think it was a really critical part of her grieving process, and not necessarily moving on, because I feel like that's kind of a harsh statement to say. Continuing to live. And a lot of cooking is done there. So, you know, Nana, her mother-in-law, gets up in the morning, is always cooking, is always chopping something. And I think that it brings them kind of, not closer together, because it's not necessarily that her mother-in-law ever asked for help, but it just is kind of like this calming thing. And a lot of the cooking reminds Tembi of her husband, Zoro. So it brings back even like more memories, and I think it's a critical part for her to do that. And she does a really good job of like describing the town, the land. I think her descriptions were really beautiful. I think they were really vivid. I was watching a review, and they were saying that it got a bit too wordy and kind of dragged on, which I think I kind of agreed with. At some points, it was like unnecessary. Like you'd already told me. Like I think I heard sapphire blue like a million times. I think that for somebody who doesn't write professionally, there it is. I was rambling. I think that it was really well put together. Added the tomatoes in. Got another 2 minutes for this. I'm like looking at this and I'm getting really nervous. I don't know if this is gonna be good. And I don't think it's because the recipe's bad. I think it's because I don't know if I really know what I'm doing. So I think she did a great job of describing the area, describing how difficult it was for her and her daughter. Like their relationship, it wasn't like it suffered, but it was tense at times. Like her daughter lost a dad, and it was like a complicated thing. And now being a single parent and also dealing with a loss, I think was probably incredibly challenging. It was just really, really beautiful to hear or to read, and like I think she did a really good job of describing her grief. And it really, really hit the feels, you guys. It was really sad. Like, obviously, but, like, just the way she would write, and it was very, very emotional. Just added the zucchini. And 3 zucchinis sounds like it kind of looks like a lot. Very, very nervous. And then I have to do this thing where I break a billion cube. I've never literally use one of those. I don't know what this, like yesterday when we were grocery shopping, I was like, I have no idea what this is. And Chandler's like, oh, I think it's by like the soup and broth stuff. And I'm like, what? How do you know? And we both used to work at a grocery store. And he was like, oh, that's where we kept it at Hy-Vee. And I was like, I also worked at this grocery store, and I was a manager, and I had no idea what he was talking about. My boyfriend is very observant. Here we go. This is what it looks like. Okay, so we're gonna break it, I guess. So here we go. Salt and pepper to taste. Okay, so that's done. Do this pasta. I even got the spaghetti yesterday. It says it's made in Italy. This recipe is a Sicilian dish, but I think this is pretty close. So all that's left to do is to boil this water, cook the pasta, let this thing sit for 20 minutes, and then we're gonna enjoy. Okay, so I just had my first bite. It's honestly really not that bad. It doesn't look awesome. See that? But it tastes pretty good. So I'm impressed. I'm proud of myself. Chandler's gonna have some later. He says it doesn't look good. So my concluding thoughts were, this book was really good. It was really beautiful. It was a really quick read. And I think it was just a really beautiful story of somebody struggling struggling to be accepted by the person's family, like person they love's family, and then dealing with being a caretaker of the person they love, and then dealing with the loss of the person they love. I just thought it was a really beautiful, kind of
full circle-ish story. Like, I don't want to say full circle because obviously I don't think you're ever really done grieving somebody, but it was really nice to see that whole process and evolution of her life, her daughter's life, and then her relationship with her mother-in-law unfold. So I think it was a really good choice. Really enjoyed this Reese Witherspoon pick, and I'm really glad that it pushed me to cook. So thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys next week.